started.
All the answers you need to know. Watch now, the Internet Dad Show. Subscribe quick, join in the fun. Deep State's Grid Monster on the run.
Good morning, boys. Good morning, Internet. Good morning, world. I'm Jason. I say things. Let me come over here slightly. Yeah, I just feel more comfortable standing right here. That's Dave. This is at the point in front of the microphone. That's Deacon. We are your Internet dads. We meet irregularly Monday through Friday at or about 8:15, whatever.
Huh?
And
9:15
stuff.
Whatever.
I'm from the future.
No, we're talking standard time, sir. We're talking standard time, not
real time.
Yeah, not whatever you people on the East Coast do.
It's not standard time right now. It's daylight savings. So you're not on CST right now.
No,
whatever.
CST. No, Texas Standard Time. Everything should be based on Texas Standard Time.
No. Sorry. It's daylight savings time.
Hold on. I used to have a sound effect for that.
Not gonna lie, that was loud.
Are you standing now?
I stand all the time. I stand at my desk. The only reason I sat before is because my desk was upstairs in my bedroom, and it's a different desk. So
I'm working on songs right now for Sunday, and this song is "Standing on the Promises." So there you go.
I have a sit stand desk, but I always leave it up. I like to stand up. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is a concrete floor. So end of the day, knees and feet hurt because turns out I'm old. But it's good for you to be on your feet.
Every other radio station I've ever worked at besides this one and the sister station that I started on, like I'm sandwiched here. Every other radio station that I've worked at in the middle there, all standing. You had a chair that come up, like a bar stool type chair that you could adjust in every one of them, or a stool. But it was a standing. When I was talking on the morning show, I was standing and talking, and I honestly like it a lot better than sitting here. I like being able to sit down and whatnot, but I wish my desk was up to where I had someone up to do it.
I know.
There's a
radio is audio.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Oh, I have. That's what you can set it on top of your desk, and you can. They're not that much. You could probably talk your boss into that. Hey, it'd be good for my back if I could stand sometimes.
They don't care.
I forgot what I was going to say a second ago. I forgot.
It's probably a lie.
It probably wasn't true. I'll tell you that.
That's what I just said. It's probably a lie.
Hey, no, it doesn't have to be a lie for things to be untrue. You could just be wrong.
Dude,
it's true.
I'm going to come to Texas and just ring your doorbell and you're going to open it. I'm just going to slap you across the face and go back home. I don't want to get into this semantics liberal.
And then 20 minutes later,
untrue does not mean
show up and do the exact same thing.
I'm going to come to Litchfield and I'm going to ring your doorbell.
I'll smack the left.
That's not true. Hey, you know what I bet you would do? I bet you'd give me a hug. I bet you'd show up and
I would give you a hug.
You're not even a hugger. I don't even know if you're a hugger.
Me?
No, you probably are.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's like
every time I've met Deke, I've got a hug.
Have y'all read did you for
y'all's
relationships, did you read the love language?
Oh yeah.
What's your love language?
Gary Chapman?
Mine is that. Hugs to me are like currency.
Yeah,
is what I've tried to tell people.
Oh, is that right?
I grew up my mom, it was hugs. It wasn't like currency, but it's like nutrition. Yeah, I'm a hugger.
Now, it's not fair for me to say because it's not entirely true, but I like to say that I grew up in a handshake family. It's not entirely true.
Some people did. Some people grew up in the salute type family. You know what I mean? With no type of
affection
at all. This is really weird that we're talking about this because my request lady yesterday that brought me the stuff that humbled me when God humbled me yesterday live on the Dad show. She was talking about that today and talking about a friend of hers that did this and blah, blah, blah. And I told her that. I said, it's unfortunate that some people go through this whole life and never experience love. Because that's what I've tried to reinforce to her, is that she was having this tough time because she had such a wonderful relationship with her childhood sweetheart, with her high school sweetheart for over 58 years or something like that. And she was having a tough time. So I always said to her, Darlene, you don't realize how blessed you were to have that great of love, because some people go through life and don't know that at all. And these people that never know what true love is from somebody, they equate another feeling with love, and then they reciprocate that because they think that's what love is.
Right.
This has been Love Talk with the Internet Dads.
All right, so what did
now.
Dave? I'm sure that you know what your love languages are. I'm a little not surprised, but like, okay, I didn't know that you knew what yours were. So, what are your? So your love language is physical. Physical. So
touch
it's
and affirmation.
Yeah.
Touch and words of affirmation. And I think a lot of guys are wired like that. Yeah, guys like to be told that, hey, I appreciate what you're doing. And women like to be told that too.
Guys mainly are words of affirmation. Quality time, service, receiving gifts, physical touch.
Yeah, physical touch is a big one for guys.
I'm quality, I guess, quality time, I think. But I mean, I don't know if that counts, because like I'm very happy just being like in the same room.
Yeah.
But like
her doing your independent thing and you doing your independent thing, you just near each other.
Totally okay with that. Yeah. But if she like leaves the house or goes on a weekend trip and she's gonna go drive up and see her mom or fly out and go somewhere, I'm like, do you really need to go? Do you really need to go?
See, I don't mind that. Ashley's been on vacation. She's been with her friend in South Carolina all week, and I've talked to her every day, and we've video chatted and stuff like that. And I've felt like something's gone all week. It hasn't been like I've been curled up in a fetal position, like, or you shouldn't go. I was like, absolutely go. This will be great, and she'll have fun. But I do feel like something's missing all week.
Video chat is not a replacement. Not at all.
No.
Not even.
No. Well, I was talking to my son about this because he and his girlfriend are going to different schools in college.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be about an hour and a half apart. I'm like, so how y'all going to work this out? Because they've been a couple since 8th grade. And like, I'm pulling for them.
That's not a, you got to pull for them, but
yeah, I'm pulling for them.
Yeah, but you're like, going to different school, boy, oh boy.
Different schools. He's attractive. She's attractive.
I've seen this. I've seen this movie.
Watch this movie.
Yeah, I told him, like, and this is the thing that he said. Well, I'm sure we will text and FaceTime each other. I'm like, Julie and I did not have that when we were dating. Like, I saw this video the other day talking about the cost of text messages when texting first came out. How you paid,
oh my God.
And I'm like, I had a deal. I had a deal with Best Buy where because I worked at Best Buy, my phone I was $15 a month for 750 minutes, which was amazing. So I put Julie on my plan, and we called each other every week,
almost 12 hours.
Did you know that 1 hour on your line and 1 hour on her line is 2 hours? When we got a $450 cell phone bill, that's usually $15.
Remember when they sold us ringtones? Remember when they sold ringtones? So my computer program here, I mean, this is the 2025 version here, but I've had this program. I've used this program for like 25 years, and I used to I would say, what part of the song do you want as your ringtone? And they were like, I want the chorus. And when I buy it, it's only the intro. I'm like, okay, I'll make it for you.
Yep.
Give me $1 and I'll make it for you. And I'll send it to them. I used to make $1 off every little ringtone. That's so funny.
And there were a few that I was able to make $1 off of multiple times.
I even had this idea, and I never pulled through back in the day. So this is back when you could first get ringtones. I was like, I'll even customize ringtones for you. So like if it's your dad calling, it could be like, excuse me, sir, but your father, the lord of the house, is calling. Would you like to answer it or send it to voicemail? For every single one. But everybody had the response just like you two did. So I said that was a terrible idea and scrapped that one. That's
I
still
had
a terrible
recorded-
idea. Okay, let's mark this one off the board.
So, Dave, I have a story very similar to yours. When my wife and I were first dating, I worked at Radio Shack and I sold cell phones. And
I was
like
in the
right
computer
after
department. Yeah.
right after we first met, I went off to summer camp for training. I was in the Army National Guard at the time. Went to the summer camp for training, and I took my cell phone. Now I, as an employee, had an employee plan, and I had free nights and weekends or something like that. Not every carrier had free nights and weekends. So I would call my girlfriend while, and she did not have free nights and weekends. And that first summer, she ended up getting a bill for $900.
Wow.
Yeah. So after that, I actually put her on my phone plan. We bought her out of her plan. I was like, let me just put a second line on here. This works better. Then we can talk.
And I miss the old phones.
Man, I don't. They were terrible.
Hey, let me tell you, bag phones were made so well. Our old engineer at this other radio station, when bag phones went out and they stopped making them and stuff, he was
Right.
going on eBay and these auction sites trying to buy them because those bag phones right there are so well made. We use them in every one of our radio station vehicles. This company I worked for had they had like 9 radio stations, but we had 5 different vehicles that were lights and colored and that we would go out and stuff. And those bag phones were in every one of them, and we would use those things are very well made. Good signal on them. That's why he was trying to buy them all up.
Oh, here, Dave's got one.
Yeah, he was holding it up.
Yeah,
He
I was just showing you.
again.
I don't think I can. Can I make you? How do I make you? Yeah. Now does that work anymore, or is that a new one?
No,
Yeah,
it doesn't
no,
work
so-
anymore because the cell bands that it used are not used
Right.
anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, we used to have
I don't know why I
analog,
still
and
have
then in early 2000s they switched to digital, but then the different carriers had different. Like nobody cares about this stuff.
Well, that's from the
Different-
1900s, man.
Yeah. Different carriers had different frequencies, so the phones were not compatible.
Uh-huh.
We used to have to hold the field with non-digital bands.
I was standing in the field rolling to charge it up to give it electrical juice.
Yeah.
All right. I saw a story this morning. Let me find where I put the link to it. I want to see what you guys think about this. We've heard something like this before.
It's a lie.
I saw
You
you
think
post the story. Is it the story you posted? Because
You don't
It's a
believe
lie.
it?
No, it's a lie. I don't know what we're talking about yet, but it's a lie.
Fart. Yeah,
All right.
I know. Oh, did you save it really? For real?
Here is so
Driverless trucks.
yeah, Aurora's. Oh, here, let me move our
There you
title.
go.
His title's in the
Hit
way.
the heart.
Push that up, Dave.
Heart.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
Thank you. Aurora's driverless trucks are making deliveries in Texas. So I care about this because I don't want to run into one of these things.
Kidding.
The idea of a robot
don't.
driving like a 20,000 pound truck loaded with who knows what, it is a little bit like, I don't know. Maybe it's not as bad as like a truck driver that's like playing with his phone while he's driving the truck, but
A lot of them cannot do that. My dad's been a truck driver for a long time, and they have stuff that it's like they can't.
dude,
When I call my dad, it's going to go to his voicemail, and within 2 minutes he is going to call me back because he has to hook up his earless or hands
Yeah.
free, all
Yep.
that mess. And they have so much stuff that monitors them anymore, and like including governors. A lot of these trucks have governors on them that you can't go past a certain speed. So that's why when you come across one truck trying to pass another and one's going like 2 miles an hour faster, it's because they're both maxed out. One's just maxed out at 67 and one's maxed out at 65 or whatever.
Right.
My
I don't
brother
I don't
drives
like
for a delivery
driverless
company.
trucks.
Yeah, my brother
You
drives
like
for a delivery company, and they have cameras inside the truck,
Yeah.
and the cameras, like, if you look away from the road for more than, I think it's like 3 seconds or 2 seconds,
Like
it
eyeball
actually
monitoring.
alerts your supervisor. Yeah, it alerts your supervisor.
Yeah. I watch a lot of these videos too because Dad always told me about this. But I watch a lot of these videos of the drivers in camera, in truck, in cab cameras, and people trying to merge or brake checking these trucks because they don't realize the truck can't stop like a car, man.
What? Yeah, I can.
So, but a lot of these drivers, and especially when you're getting onto an interstate and the truck can't get over, you don't have the right to put. Dad said he's pushed several people into the median over there into the side of the road.
Not on purpose. Right?
No, it's because he couldn't get over and they kept trying to merge, expecting him to get over, but he couldn't. So he just stayed in his lane and they ended up going off into the grass. He said people flip him off, brake check him, do all kinds of stuff to him.
Okay, so let's learn about this a little bit, guys. Where'd you guys go? Where are you at? After years. Oh, okay. All right. After years of testing validation, Aurora, I never heard of this company, says its first fully autonomous tractor trailers are operating on public highways in Texas. The company's Class 8 trucks are now making deliveries between Dallas and Houston and have already completed 1,200 miles without a driver. That is like that's like 4 trips. that's maybe 5. The clients for these initial trips are Uber Freight, the ride hailing company's trucking brokerage, and Hoosier Motor Lines, a carrier that delivers time and temperature sensitive freight.
What the hell is Uber freighting around?
Hey, they're stuff,
things,
boxes of stuff. The CEO, Chris Urmson, said that he rode in the back seat during the first truck's inaugural. Okay. All right. So autonomous driving, but there's a driver on board just in case. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. We founded Aurora to deliver the benefits of self-driving tech safely, quickly, broadly. Now we are the first company to successfully and safely operate a commercial driverless trucking service on public roads. Aurora said it plans to expand its driverless service to El Paso and Phoenix by 2020, by the end of this year.
How long before a major accident with one of these?
That's a good question, because that's going to happen. And as soon as it happens,
inevitable.
Yeah. And as soon as it happens, it'll be like the biggest story in the world. Driverless truck kills aged granny or something like that. And it'll be like, oh my God, we have to stop this. Meanwhile, every single day we have vehicle accidents on the road, many of them with semi trucks. Like you guys have both driven past a wrecked semi truck on the side of the road before, I'm sure.
Yes.
We need semi truck drivers. People
sure do.
And I don't like the concept of driverless. I don't like that, only because I grew up with a family that made their livings and stuff off semi trucks and around those people. And Dad brought up to me one time that was really interesting. He said, "Son, look around. Like you guys look around. Every single thing that you can see, from your tools to your comic books to the paint on the wall to the drywall itself, was
Mhm.
on a semi truck at one point in its existence, moving from A to B. Everything you see, except you and little dude back here,
Sure,
you
yeah.
know. So semi trucks are very important, but there's been I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, but I was listening to somebody talk about something. I think he was talking about like things you appreciate or something like that. But 100 years ago, or like so long ago, like a great deal of this country was built with railroads, and like we used across the country. That was how we did things. And because of railroads, entire towns popped up because the railroad would have to make a stop and whatever. So a whole town would stop.
Right here where I'm sitting.
But
Irvington.
in the last century, we need railroads less and less, and now we have roads and as you say, everything in our world, all of the commodities are delivered via truck shipping, and because of that, many of those railroad towns, they dried up. There was nothing else
You're exactly
for
right.
them for this. So
Mhm.
so transportation innovation created towns, and then innovation destroyed them.
It's very
And-
true. That's very
we're-
true.
And,
Yeah,
and
we're
this
nowhere
is the
near an
precipice of
interstate.
another change.
So we
You know
have
what?
a
That is
railroad
very
comes through our
interesting.
town.
Is it-
We have a railroad that comes through our town. There was a coal deposit silo that is shut down. There's actually a homeless lady living in it at one point. There's a giant grain dispensary right next to the railroad track that would load there was a flour mill, and it's no longer used. And those were two huge
Railroad
things,
never
and
comes
we're
by here
nowhere
anymore.
near- you don't have any trains, you liar.
Choo choo.
Honestly,
It doesn't stop here anymore.
the railroad depot used to be right across the railroad tracks over here, because when there's some older people that will come and they will talk about how this was the hub of all the activity. There's an old bank from the 1800s that's over there. And yeah, you're exactly right, JJ. Maybe this is the precipice of something new. I like the fact that you're still employing the driver to sit there and having someone there in case of an emergency, because you are going to have other drivers do stuff. And as much as we rely on AI and all this crap and how advanced it is, I will never, ever believe that AI will be better than humans in that type of an emotional, dangerous situation. I don't want to believe that, even though it probably
Right.
will happen.
I
Right.
mean, who knows, right?
Yeah.
So
We
you
don't.
reminded me of and see if I can find it in Google Maps, because I don't even know if I can. My grandparents lived in a little town called Britain. And when I say little town, it was literally three parallel streets, three parallel roads.
Yeah.
And it was outside of Mansfield. And I don't think it exists anymore, because I believe it was annexed by Mansfield or Arlington or something like that. But
Was it in Texas?
it was, yeah, it's in Texas. Yeah. So it was, well, I mean, I was 5, so I spelled it Britton, but I'm not
yeah, that's it.
certain.
Yeah. Unincorporated community.
Yeah, actually, this is it right here. Here's what maybe this isn't it. Let me see. I need to get I was looking for the street view. So, oh yeah, no, this is it, because that's Noah Road. Okay, so let's see. Let me turn this camera around. I'm looking for. It looks like it's torn down and gone. There was for much of my life here. I'm gonna pull this up. Boop boop boop. This isn't gonna be as demonstrable as what I was thinking. Share this tab instead. So this was a gas station. The pumps are gone now. Now it's a little corner store. This is where my grandmother would send me to buy cigarettes.
Yeah.
I
I used to buy Salem Lights and a Pepsi for my grandmother.
Yeah. And
My granny had her own store, so she
So she got her own.
she had her own cigarettes.
Yeah,
you can see this pavement right here.
Yeah.
This used to be, and it's gone now. but this from all of my youth, this was a dilapidated, rundown bank or a train station, because just right over there,
I can see the train tracks back there. You can see
right
the
over
ballast.
there,
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep, right there.
train tracks. So this was there was a stop here. There was a bank here. I mean, this was a little town a million years ago. Like, and it was just, and now it's just like some, you
Yeah.
know, honestly, it's just a couple of streets. It's people, the houses have been there forever. And
To be
they're,
honest,
it's a poor town.
To be
Yeah.
honest, Calvert City, Kentucky, where I'm located right now, would look the exact same as that if it hadn't been for our multi-billion-dollar chemical complex that's about 3 miles north of me.
Yeah.
It brings a
So-
lot of money into this town.
Railroads made these little towns,
Yeah.
made these little communities where people lived and still live. And then the railroads, they don't need to stop anymore.
Britain,
And
Texas
that town,
was settled in 1895 under the name Helland and later Hellandville, named after Texas and New Orleans Railroad passenger agent Joseph Helland, later being named Britain after railroad conductor H.C. Britton. The town is literally named after railroad people.
yeah, yeah. And those people you're talking about, they live right here. This literally like this little town, this little like little town was like a stop on a railroad line. There was a bank or a station or whatever, a couple of streets and a graveyard. And
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 a graveyard.
we used to get on a golf cart. We used to go get on the golf cart and come run around
Have I informed you on the
run
difference
around the
between graveyards
run
and
around a graveyard
cemeteries?
doing loops.
What about
Have I-
graveyards and
have I-
cemeteries?
Do you know the difference between a graveyard and a cemetery?
Well,
You told us
vampires
this,
are not
yeah.
allowed to go to one of them.
Highlanders cannot
Correct.
fight in both, right?
Correct. On both of those, you are correct. Graveyards are connected to churches. Cemeteries are not.
Yeah, that's right.
So that
yeah.
would be a cemetery.
Oh, it's a cemetery.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
right. I remember that. Graveyards are next to
And
church.
vampires cannot go to graveyards, but they can go to cemeteries.
Which is funny because they end up getting buried in their coffins a lot.
In cemeteries, not in graveyards.
So I don't know that any vampires really thought about the logistics of like what happens if you get moved into like somebody picks up your coffin and is like, oh, this shouldn't be here. There's somebody in here. Let's go bury it. And then
Why don't you write that story?
I don't want to. I mean, I feel nostalgic a little bit for this old dilapidated building that was just like the remnants of walls. You know what I mean? And even that's gone too.
So
So,
you are getting to
Driverless
experience
trucks.
something that I said for a while about my little area where I grew up, and then I've saw it being said is kind of similar about getting older. As we get older, we want to go back to places that don't exist anymore. I
Yeah.
Yes.
walk through the woods at the end of our property. There was these 4 or 5 pine trees that it was almost magical to go into them because it changed the light, they block, and the woods back there were magical with a creek and trees and wonderful. And that's a freaking house and a golf course and a bunch of huge golf course houses now.
Yeah.
And I can't go back into those woods. I do in my mind, but I
Right.
yearn to go back to this place that I can never ever go back to.
Everything is temporary. Everything is temporary.
That is a
You know,
fundamental constant
you're-
in the universe is that everything changes.
You talked about the guy that founded that little town of Britain. In his mind, in his life, he was starting a town, and it was going to be able to flourish, and it was going to.
That's got to
and-
be one of the biggest. I'm starting a town.
Yeah,
That's
I
huge.
had-
I
That
have
is a
dreams.
I had a great or great uncle that did the same thing when he got back from the Civil War. He started this little community in Ballard County called Ragland, and he owned the general store and the bar and the gambling. He owned all this, and the people that he paid were paid with these Rudd coins.
Oh yeah, yeah. You've talked about those before.
That he paid, and we got one. My brother actually has one because Dad always was like, "Oh, those coins used to be everywhere when I was a kid." And that old general store at my whoever owned. He said they ain't worth nothing. They were just coins that he would pay. JJ worked for me. I give you $20 in Rudd coins, and the only place you can spend them's in the Rudd stores. so they did that everywhere back then.
Mm-hmm.
They still do it today.
That means they weren't worth nothing. They weren't worth nothing. They were worth whatever goods you could trade them for.
Right.
Which is the same as our fiat currency now, which is isn't worth anything.
An article earlier today about the thing that's gaining in value right now are old baseball and basketball cards, because stocks are tanking and all these other things are tanking, but these are starting to rebound in their value, which I don't know if it's
I'm not a financial scientist, but I wouldn't recommend anyone investing in any kind of sports memorabilia as an investment advice. And once again, I'm not an investment doctor.
I'm not giving advice.
I
read an article that said that these are rebounding. Next up is the Ty Beanie Babies.
What about my collection of O.J. Simpson cards?
I've got every Transformer ever made. How much are those?
Dude,
if you have every Transformer,
you'd actually have money.
Let me tell you, this is how geeky I am. A buddy posted a picture the other day. Hang on, let me bring up the picture. Let me see if I can find it.
Are the markets down? I don't think the markets are down.
Yeah, they are.
My buddy posted this picture the other day, and I said, "Is that real?" He was like, "I don't know." And then I had to look for it, and I was like, "Dude, if there is a vape called Cloud Chaser and it turns into a Transformer, I'm going to buy that." I was like, "I am going to buy that." And I looked it up, and I was like, "I really think it is." Share this tab instead. Cloud Chaser, the vape. That's of course
wow.
He's
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
E-liquid sold separately, so this one's probably like $60 range, and then you fill it up. The tank's probably right there, and you fill it up with
the shopping thing, and I don't see it for sale anywhere.
Oh, it might not be.
Did you guys have Transformers for real when you were a kid? I had an Optimus Prime.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I had an Optimus Prime. I had a bunch of Transformers.
I had the original Megatron that turned into the gun.
I think I had that too at one time.
My buddy has it on his desk.
Yeah, I had the original Megatron that turned into the gun because I remember I lost it one time and I couldn't find it anywhere. And for some reason, it was at the very bottom of the laundry basket. The ones that you never make it to the bottom always, the laundry basket. And it was at the very bottom for some reason.
Can I tell you the Transformer that I saw in the store and I wanted so bad, but I couldn't get them to buy it for me. My aunt, I don't even know what store we were at. When we were kids, there was the Transformers cartoon. Obviously, we all watched Transformers. This was I walked into the store and I saw this toy in a package. This was Soundwave, and Soundwave came with these cassette tapes that would transform into extra robots. Yes. So there was the dog and the bird, and I don't know what else. And I was like, I want this
cheetah.
so bad.
The yellow one's the cheetah.
Oh my gosh. Let's see if I can find the meme that I saw the other day.
Yeah, I'm a big Soundwave meme person, dude. I've posted a couple in the Discord server.
It might have been you who posted it.
Soundwave's the best. Yeah, it was that. Yeah, Soundwave is trying to get laser. Hysterical. It's not Laserbeak. It's
Raven or
no, Laserbeak was one of them.
Laserbeak was the bird, and then the
it was the cat.
The cat was I don't remember.
Ravage.
Ravage. That's it.
Okay,
it was Ravage. I knew
so Soundwave had this like voice effect right?
Yes.
Oh, I saw that.
Soundwave. Yeah, Soundwave had the, and I've thought about that over the years after I've gotten into radio. He did have like this. I think I could emulate it with
You
my
could
program.
emulate it.
It sounds like that they kept the original voice, but there's probably about 6 or 7, maybe not even that many, 3 or 4 overlays with an effect on it.
Switch to this.
What did you guys think about what they did with Soundwave in the one of those first
I didn't watch him.
Transformers movies where he was the satellite?
I didn't watch him.
Soundwave was a satellite.
No, that wasn't. That I don't know. I don't know what they were doing in that.
I liked that idea. I liked that idea.
uh,
Of course, he wouldn't be like a freaking
So-
tape cassette anymore.
You know how you like watch a show and there's characters or whatever, and you like, I guess you like add attributes to that character. You know, like you imagine what they would be like, especially if it's like a character like Soundwave where he doesn't get a lot of lines, and you know he appears and he's distinct, but he doesn't have like a lot of lines. So you get to imagine and fill in the character yourself a little bit. And I always imagined Soundwave as like working for Megatron, but doesn't really give one F what Megatron says. Like,
I kind of did that. He's loyal to Megatron, but he's really
like
not loyal to the cause.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't even say he's loyal. I'd be like, he like works here, and he's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll go do this, but like, I do not care what you're saying.
Look,
Megatron,
Megatron,
the
I
reluctant
usually come
employee
in at about 8:30, and then I just space out at my desk for an hour.
That was always my version of Soundwave, which just like I don't really care what you say. Oh yeah.
Prepare for flight. Destination Iacon.
So the voice actor is having to do the whole time. He is having to speak like this the whole time.
Monotone.
They are going and putting a voice effect.
Operation Assimilation. Laser beak. Autobot alert. Disclosure averted. Continue observation.
Yeah, they've probably got an effect on the original. I don't even think my initial anymore. I don't think they have an original voice there. I think they just put 1 or 2 effects on. There's definitely an echo effect on there, but then they've got some flange effect that they've farted with to make it sound.
Is it?
I've got a filter. Hang on, let me bring this up. I've got
Is
a
it
filter.
ironic that Soundwave has the most processed, least listenable? I don't know what the word is. Like, it's like he has the worst mic and voice box of all the robots.
So here's just my weather this morning. I have a filter. Where is it at? Here you go. Let me fix this. I call it the barn. This is because it kind of resembled a barn years ago, but I've had to mess with it over the years. It don't really resemble a barn anymore. But this is what I used when I wanted to simulate a telephone call, but didn't want the telephone call. Showers, possibly a thunderstorm, mainly after 1 today, a high near 80 with the wind becoming southwest this afternoon, kind of kicking in a little bit. Showers, possibly a thunderstorm this evening. And I could sit there and mess with that crap all day long and get exactly what I want. Or if I need something else, I just copy this and then do that on that other one and do something else on this one and then overlay them, and I've got a completely new effect. No, stop sharing. There's a lot of really cool.
Do you fake phone call on the radio a lot?
I have before. Yeah, absolutely. All radio stations do it. Yeah. We used to have on our morning show on the Hot AC station, we used to have these topics once a week where we would pick a topic and talk and ask people to call in and whatnot. And when you could not get people to call in, we've done this a dozen times. I would go next door and get the DJ from the classic country station next door, this guy named Lou. And I'm like, dude, I want you to call our request line here in a minute and just say, Blah, blah, blah is stupid, and all people that like this are dumb. And by God, we would be like, all right, here's our topic today, and we got to call
Yeah.
it. What do you think? I think all people that like this are dumb, and hang up. Well, okay there. And every single time, the
You know
phone
what you did?
calls would
There's a
light
word
You
for
called
what you
me
did.
dumb. You called me dumb.
Man,
No.
that is the
You know what you
easiest
did?
way to brainwash them.
You negged your audience. It is a neg.
Poked
Which
them
is
with a stick.
It's the same technique you use to get a chick that's not interested in you. You're just like, oh, well, you could look better. I mean, your hair's okay, but like, could look better. Your nails, they're all right, but you know, you just
He
negger.
never said anything like this until he moved
Neg.
away from where
Neg.
his wife is. Usually she's in the other room. He's hiding in the garage.
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah,
know he's
this
not in
is
the
a
garage
this is a
now.
good
This
this is a good solid door right here.
He's in a safe place now. Ryan says that his son is obsessed with Transformers and Sonic, and he wants a Soundwave cassette player. I know.
I
do
mean,
too.
that was the like, I know when you're kids and you're like, you want everything, but I remember pulling up to the store, walking around, and then like seeing, I was like, oh,
you
did
know,
I get it? No.
You were talking about that and wanting that Soundwave, and I never like wanted for a Transformer like that as much as I wanted for. I was a He-Man collector and Star Wars. I had all of them, and the only freaking He-Man doll that my Walmart would never get in their case for some reason was Beast Man. That was the one that I needed.
He was so cool.
All of them.
Yeah.
And
that's the one that flipped the head, right? Rotated the head.
No, Beast Man was orange.
No, Beast Man was orange.
That was
okay.
That was Triclops.
Triclops. That's
Right.
Triclops.
Okay.
Well, we were in a Walmart that was in another town one day for some reason, and they had Beast Man, and I remember I begged my mom for this, begged her for it, and she got it for me. Man, she got it for me. So I finally got it.
I had it wasn't Skunkor. I had Skunkor. Who's the guy that had the
Leech?
He shot water. He shot but he shot water out.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Merman.
Hydra.
Was it
Merman.
Merman?
Yeah, I
He had,
think
like,
at one
gills
point.
and-
But then the She-Ra had the leech guy that you could suction
Yes.
cup.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles was huge. Redhead. Orion.
See, Ninja Turtles and
I
Power
love Ninja
Rangers were right when my brother is 5 years younger than me, and that was his. He was the big Ninja Turtle Power Rangers, and I kind of watched him, but I was kind of
enjoyed
getting
the cartoon.
older to where I didn't, I don't want that kiddie stuff like you do.
Had you ever read the comic?
So
before
Ryan,
that?
No.
Oh, see the
I got-
comic, dude. It was black and white. It was dark. And so I was kind of surprised when
Yeah, I've
it came out
seen
as a
it since.
cartoon.
but I
Ryan,
didn't as a kid.
Ryan says he was big into Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers too. Ryan, if you go right now to 80stees.com, you can get your very own I'm actually in my 40s t-shirt.
That's great. That's really awesome.
I love that.
Did I tell you that thing? I think I've told y'all this, that video or something. I like the Ninja Turtles mythos, though. I've always loved the whole world. And they were talking
I like
about
Weirdo,
how
too.
I've never really picked up on this, but I really like this. And even if it's not true, it is in my canon now, is that look at the turtles. Raphael is the hot-headed one that struggles with anger, and he's the first to attack. His weapons are purely defensive weapons.
Mhm.
Michelangelo is the crazy one that's always crazy and doing this and a loose cannon. His weapons are nunchucks that take skill and concentration. Donatello is the technological one. He's always
He is a stick.
he literally has a stick. And Leonardo, the leader, the one that is the wisest, the one that has to lead and has to make the hard decisions, is the only one that has lethal weapons.
Oh my gosh. He says that checks out. Y'all have a few years on me. All right.
I don't
All
know.
right,
how-
hey guys, it's joke
Very
time,
sorry.
and then I got to make
Quick.
I got a conference call. So
I don't have a joke.
sounds
Hold on.
like I'm gonna go first.
Yeah, it is.
What is the difference between a
Oh, I do have a
teacher
joke.
and a train? What is the difference between a teacher and a train?
I don't know.
Okay. One says spit out your gum, and the other says chew, chew, chew.
Sir, no, sir!
Yeah, sir, no, sir.
Where did it go?
Damn it.
Okay, I got mine.
Okay, go then.
All right.
I really should go last for mine, but let me give you the three
This is so good. He wants to close.
symptoms for laziness.
Okay. That's pretty good, dude.
I'll get back with you.
Okay, here's the corniest one yet. Oh, wait. I've got one, Dave.
All right.
I got one that I told the other day, but JJ didn't hear it. So here's my joke. I saved it on my page here. A man walks up to a librarian and asks, "Do you have any books on Pavlov's dogs and Schrodinger's cat?" And the librarian responds, "It rings a bell, but I'm not sure it's here or not."
All right. Back next week.
Politicians and talking
Dave's
heads
joke is
lying
funny.
left and right. You can help us bring facts into the light. Don't let your daughter